Now, in the introduction, it makes this statement. It's quoting from Leviticus 17:11. For the life of the flesh is in the blood, for it is the blood that maketh atonement of the soul. Atonement at one mind. Mind, that's Latin for mind. We get mental. So at one mind. To have one mind and to be in unity and to bring the oil back will take a long process, which we all have to engage in eventually. We can choose not to now, it's fine. But eventually we'll have to ascend. Because that's how the ascension takes place. It does take place within. It's your temple. If it's not happening in your temple, it's not going to be happening by some vicarious salvation. It will never happen, as the church has promised. Biochemists have shown that food does not form blood, but simply furnishes the mineral base by setting free the inorganic or cell salts contained in all food stuff. Those cell salts that we're going to be talking about today need to be released, and they're in the food. Now, in alchemical law, the great work is commenced in the goat, Capricorn. They start here in alchemy. And let's complete the stone, shall we? The philosopher's stone. Hasn't got much shape, but you get the point. There's the stone. Focus always on those cardinal points, 4 gates of heaven, because it will make a lot of sense. And so, basically the idea of these cell salts, you see, shows on this chart, might as well get rid of that, how Aries starts over here on the equinox, March the 21st, and then proceeds around and follows the head. This is Israel, you see, or Jacob. The name of Israel, before he had his name changed, was Jacob. You see, because he was a twin. Esau was his brother, and as his brother came out first, it was supposed to be Jacob. But in the Bible, Esau comes out first, and Jacob's grabbing his heels. And Jacob means heel catcher, because Jacob always catches his heels. That's the heel. Heel comes from Helios, the sun. That's why you have a sole at the bottom of your foot. Remember the word S-O-L that I wrote? Soul comes from that. And the heel from Helios, the sun. Because Jacob catches his heel. And as it goes around, all the parts correspond. And the 12 systems, the skeletal, muscular, etc., are furnished by, produced by those mineral salts, the 12 mineral salts. And there it is, Aries potassium phosphate, sodium sulfate for taurines. Furnished by the goat, and is finished in the white stone. Biochemistry is the stone which the builders rejected, and furnishes the key of all the mysteries of occultism and the allegorical goat. So you see, biochemistry is the stone that the builders rejected. You'll hear many interpretations for that, and there are many interpretations. Well, there's 7. There's always 7 interpretations in the sacred languages. But you'll hear Freemasons tell you that the stone the builders rejected, the chief cornerstone, is the top of the Giza pyramid, which was built without a capstone. Well, that's the chief cornerstone because it's a cornerstone. It can't be a foundation stone, as they try to tell you. But the Freemasons know that that's one of the applications of it. It symbolises the imperfection of man. And until we add the cornerstone, we won't perfect our bodies. And the cornerstone is always a quadrant of the zodiac, which looks like a pyramid. Because if you were conceived here, for instance, and you were gestating, the gestation period will be 9 months on average, all of us. All of these cell salts are developed in your body. They're all developed. But if you're born in Capricorn, say here on the 25th of December somewhere, you will be deficient in these 3. And that is the cornerstone that you should not reject. These are the cell salts. All Capricorns need calcium, get this, calcium phosphate, of course lime for the bones. Of course it's going to be here, because Capricorn rules the skeletal system. And Aquarius is sodium chloride, that's for you Aquarians, Gary. And Pisceans, any Pisceans here? Yeah, iron phosphate. You need doses of it. Oh, sorry, I'm talking about Capricorns, aren't I? That's for Capricorns. Yeah, sorry. So this is the stone that the Capricorns need. If you're a Piscean, well then you need this stone, these 3. If you're an Arian like myself, you need these 3. And believe you me, you can see the deficiencies of all of those 3 in your faces. And that's what I'm going to be showing you today. You'll be seeing some of these deficiencies in all the signs. You can see them clearly. And when you take those cell salts that you are deficient in, those symptoms go away. All right, I think I'm ready to proceed with Aries. Shall we start? Sure. Thank you. He makes a note here in the start of Aries to pay attention to words. Because words, as well as letters and numbers, are the containers and the expressions of definite values. The reason, satisfying information given herein has been obtained by the study of words, as you'll see. Now, I've always been a words person. When I was much younger, in my teens, I was born in a bilingual family. My parents were from southern Italy, Calabria. So I learned. My father never ever did learn. He still can't speak English. My mother speaks it well, but I grew up with Calabrese and English. You see, in my teens, I started learning Spanish and Italian, and then French and Portuguese, and then some other languages. I taught myself how to read and write Greek, Japanese, and a couple more. Now, in so doing, I was pretty blessed because I understand what they're saying there about containers. The words contain. Yeah. In fact, I used to teach people languages, and I used to do this thing where you could learn 1,000 words in 1 minute. Would you like to learn 1,000 words in Italian in 1 minute?
Possibly.
And I used to give people endings like shun. You see, any word that ends in shun, or most words, like for instance nation in Italian would be zione. So nation you'd say nazione. quite simple. In French, it's the same as this, but you say nation. La nation. And it finishes with a nasal sound. In Spanish, it's ción. La nación. Ción. Or if you go to Southern America, it's ción. Nación. Like the French. In Portuguese, it's são. Nação. So with that in mind, you've got 1,000 words or a whole bunch of words in those languages. For you know now how to say, you'd know how to say for instance, a word that ends in sion, congregation. You know how to say it in 4 other languages right now. Congregazione, congregación, congregação, and congregation in French, etc. Same thing with T and li. For instance, personality in Italian is personalità. In French, personnalité. In Spanish, personalidad, D-A-D, personalidad. And in Portuguese, personalidade.
So I suppose the second one links to Zion?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I can get into that, but I won't. I just want to do this quickly because I want you to understand how powerful it is to know your languages and words and look at words. This is going to forever help you to understand how powerful languages are. Very powerful tools. This is why the legal profession have their own language. It's called legalese. And they confuse you because it looks like English, but it's not. When they tell you you must go to court, or you may do this or that, they mean you must. When the judge asks you, do you understand? That means, do you stand under his jurisdiction? That's what it means to them. They're crooksters. It's a whole separate language, legalese. And this shows you the power of words. And you're going to get a whole bunch of these words. It's going to expose everything in here and prove that this is a true science. Biochemistry, astrology, astrotheology, all of them put together in one. Because they are all one. The human mind is able to unify all things and to see with the optic thalamus the interrelatedness of all things rather than the division and the separateness of things. In this world, this lying system, everything's separate. Those people are black, those people are white. They're Protestants, they're Catholics. Blue collar, white collar. Third world, first world. All of these categories that only suit their interests.
Yes! 2